Good evening, and welcome to Home Horrors with Emily Gignac. I'm your host, Emily Gignac, and tonight we'll be hearing the harrowing horror of a woman who purchased a home and was unprepared for what befell her. Mildred was enamored by the low interest rate for mortgages, which is currently sitting around 2.875%, and she decided to purchase a home. She did get approved for a mortgage, but she decided to purchase a home that was at the very top of her approval amount. She didn't stop to think about her monthly budget or the costs that might come up with home ownership. When she found the perfect 100-year-old mansion in the middle of the woods, she knew that it would be the perfect secluded location for all of her hobbies. She was so excited to have a lair of her own. However, when closing came around, she was shocked to discover that even without a large down payment, there were still a few $1,000s of closing costs that she would have to pay. It's fine, she thought. Once I own the home, I'll be set. She began to move in, but it turned out there was a lot of work to do. She had to hire a professional uncleaning service to dirty it up a little bit. It was far too neat and tidy for her taste. She also had to hire professional movers for her heavy and gothic furniture. And finally, she hired a professional painter to turn every room a very deep shade of black. Over the course of weeks, the little savings that she did have was completely vanquished. She began to dread her monthly mortgage payment. One day, she went out to her mailbox and found a utility bill. She was shocked. How was she to know that a house of this size would use that much electricity, gas, and water? Alone, without money, and very scared, she walked into her home, up to the highest tower, sat down in her rocking chair, and stared into the endless black walls. People say that if you walk by the old home in the woods today, you can still hear the creak of her rocking chair, back and forth. Mildred was unprepared for the cost of home ownership, but you don't have to be. Before purchasing a home, make sure you have some savings for planned and unexpected home ownership costs. Even if you're not putting down a down payment, having a safety net for closing, moving, and ownership costs is vital. Talk with your lender and realtor to make a realistic and wise financial decision. It can also be wise not to purchase at the very top of your approval amount, especially if you're worried about your financial state. Just because you're approved at that amount does not necessarily mean you should purchase a home at that amount. These tips may just save you from horror. Let's see what Lulu thought of that story. Wow, it seems like she really understood the point. I'll see you next week for another episode of Home Horrors.